It's really the whole reason why I've got two monitors is so that we can check. I got up here and this, and usually, yeah, I draw on that monitor and stuff, but whatever. The freaking OBS is a pain in the ass, man.
Pain in the OBS.
Oh, that was a dad joke. Right, that's like a sick dad joke, right?
Spilling coffee on myself.
Oh man, I gotta go live on Instagram. Let's go live on Instagram.
Be right back.
What do you mean? Be right back? We're live.
I know.
Wow. You see what I deal with, folks? This is it. This is what happens. This is YouTube programming right here. We're so professional. You know.
Well, the best part of being on YouTube is that you don't have to be professional.
That's.
Otherwise, you'd be hired somewhere else.
If we were professional, we probably wouldn't get views. Honestly.
If we were professional, we'd be monetized. Yeah, we'd be making money.
Didn't you just do whatever? Anyway.
It's a little aggressive.
You know what bothers the hell out of me?
What?
Colors. Colors are a pain in the ass. Let me specify. Let me clarify that.
Yeah, please do.
Trying to be an artist, it's there is so much that goes into learning how to do art. It is aggravating.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be, if you're going to be an artist, it's going to be half of your life is just thinking about how to draw.
Well, that's how it starts off, right? Okay, so you're dealing with, you got to deal with how to form and structure and put things together and, make sure that the other eye is as good as the first eye. You ever seen that? It. Oh, God. Copy paste, but you got to flip. Don't forget to flip. Otherwise, that would definitely look weird. However, you could start a new art style that way. Yeah. It's modern art.
That's what Picasso did.
If that's what you want to call it.
Art. Oh, my God.
No, that's seriously. Well, the whole thing about it is you've heard that saying as far, like, if you're around a bunch of artists, you've heard the saying from Picasso that he spent like 5 years becoming a master painter, but a lifetime learning how to paint as a child.
Yeah, I do like that quote.
Yeah.
That is pretty much applicable to any artist or any art style, I think, except for maybe realism, but realism is boring.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, that depends.
I think if you can have an expression in realism, but that's so hard to do. Because real life is just kind of stiff sometimes. Like, you could spend your whole life just drawing fruit as you see it. Colors. We're going back to this.
Well, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but...
Of course.
The whole thing's about colors.
The theme of the show.
The theme of the show. Oh, my gosh. Well, I am started. What are you talking about?
I didn't see you on camera.
We're not on camera. We're waiting for people to come in. This is how we do things.
Okay.
We start. What are you talking about? You do the same thing. You know what? Let us do this on a Monday or Friday and see how much we get chewed out for this shit.
Are Mommy and Daddy gonna get divorced?
Yes.
Over this, maybe.
I just wanted to talk about colors.
Look. So we already got people talking to us as it is. Sketchy guy from Nevada's here. Says, "Oh man, there's color everywhere. It haunts you. It doesn't matter unless you dream in black and white. It haunts you." Art Victor, hey, oh my Lord, this topic's crazy to me right now. I'm having to take breaks because this project I'm working on is breaking my eyes and brain. Like the timing of this bit is crazy.
Well, I'm glad to know.
We're not going to solve any problems either. I'm promise you that.
We're talking about our own problems.
But yeah.
That's all we do.
Well, over Aaron Blaise, who did the Big Brother, Disney Big Brother, he directed it. He's a big time animator. Always has like art lessons and stuff go on sale for like $1 here and there. He does great anatomy, character design, but he's also got a guy on there that does color. And, well, I'll tell you what. Let's start the show and then we'll talk about it. Sound good?
That's what Mom wants us to do. We haven't started.
Yeah, well, like she's the boss of us.
Yeah, right.
Hey, look, we just got the notification.
Ah.
Let's start with a 30-minute countdown.
30.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
All right, now we're on camera.
Cool. Can I get off now?
Okay.
Bye.
You got Ryan Gosling right there next to you. Does that mean anything to you?
No.
At this point in time, you're at an age where that's not even anything, is it?
What,
That's the
Ryan
guy from the
Gosling?
Barbie movie.
Yeah,
to you,
right? He's old.
But see, he's all red in there. You know what the thing about color is really what gets me is the idea that it's not exactly what you perceive,
It's
right?
not, no. Like, most of the time, a color is just the colors that surround it. It can completely change the shade, the hue. And when you pick it directly, what looks orange would actually be, like, brown.
I will see. You look at Frances Pugh right there.
Florence.
Whatever her name is.
I love Florence.
Yes, that person. Okay, it looks, like she's normal color, but I bet you if you really broke it down, it's like not
color.
her. Yeah, well, I mean,
Default
color. Whatever.
No, you're right. There's probably a hue change.
So what we're going to do is we're checking out colorpalette.cinema on their Facebook site. With they give you over to Instagram. So if you see Messenger pop up, that's probably why. If you feel insulted by whatever's in the Messenger, I don't apologize. That's just how it goes. Anyway, so let's drop this, and we'll start taking a look through some what color. Let explain real quick what color palette .cinema is. All right. So colorpalette.cinema basically takes a scene from a movie that you see here. This is from The Life of Pi, and it adds to the it breaks down what colors are used in it. Right? You've seen this, right?
Well, yeah, of course. And not just from this Facebook page either, but it's a common method. I don't use it. I know people who do, though.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
Hi, Mike.
Well, maybe we should, though. I mean,
so it'd
consider
probably be beneficial.
But what was interesting about this is The Life of Pi, and the color scheme here. You have different types of color schemes, right? You have what? Harmonia, like analogus.
And what is it? Monochrome.
Monochrome.
There are other ones.
Complementary. There's just a whole bunch of different types of ways that you handle color. And the thing about it is that you find out real quick. But the thing about color is not so much picking the color, but it's also the
palette
value.
That's
it, right? And that's actually what we perceive.
That's true.
More when it comes to something like, for instance, when you're looking at this boat right here, right? Let me see if I can move my pointer. So when you're looking at this boat right here, you have the that kind of comes off as that's probably a white tarp, but it looks yellow, right?
Yeah.
But the value of the darkness on that versus, say, his shirt color right here, right? You could, it's about the same. But okay, the shadows. Let's talk about the shadows in the cover. All right, so you had it has a different value. If I put this in grayscale, it would actually help you better see it.
Be able to tell
Right.
everything is. But my method was always if turn a grayscale and blur it slightly, and if you can still make out the object or like see what's supposed to be in the foreground, then you're doing a good job.
Doesn't it seem like that's just a whole lot of work?
That's what it is, man. It's art, dude. If you're not doing a whole lot of work, you're not doing it right.
Is that?
If you're not doing way more details than
I
necessary,
don't
then
think
no one's
that's
going to notice.
necessarily a rule.
That is to me, because I am very susceptible to not trying at all. Trying hard is basically giving the minimum amount for me.
All right, so let's go through these things. Oh, anyway, so the story about the Aaron Blaise guy. All right, so he's got a guy on there that teaches you about color theory, right? Well, the thing about it is, his teacher came one day and he had all these paintings set up, and the guy's like, "Well, why are you using those colors?" And the thing about it is that it's almost like going nose blind. You ever see those Febreze commercials?
Yes.
All right. And look, Sam, who is a colorist, says, "I agree with her."
Yes, you should.
I just hey.
Yeah, you have to. That's.
I'm not a good colorist, so I'm
not a good colorist either.
Well, a colorist.
I consider myself a good shader.
A good shader.
Yes, but when it comes to colors, my palettes are an absolute mess. I just kind of select whatever.
See that's work. A whole thing anyway. So anyway, his teacher came, looked at the paintings, and said, "Why are you using this color here?" He said, "Because that's the color I see, and that's what I'm using." He said, "When you're painting, are you backing away and stopping, paint a little bit, stop and look away from the canvas before looking back at it, or are you just constantly watching it?" Because if you're constantly watching it, your eyes adjust in a certain way.
Yeah,
it reminds, like I said, it reminds me of the Febreze commercials where, it's like, oh, what's that smell? And then you go nose blind or some.
Yeah, like
you
can't
that.
smell the
right.
bad anymore.
So the palette kind of gets blended in there, and you don't really see the colors anymore. He was using a lot of purple and things like that. So I think the guy's like, "What the hell are you doing?" So he said when he backed up away from doing that taking I don't remember how many minutes he'd look at the thing and look away, or he'd paint up, look away and paint it, or whatever the case is, something like that, so that his eyes wouldn't get adjusted to it. Sam says, let me put it up here on the screen. Sam says she was talking about trying harding, which for her is giving the minimum. I always tell my wife, be different and willing to give it all, because there are a billion kids who do it better, faster, and cheaper than you. Yeah, this is true. You better, but it's also good to quantize your workflow.
Yeah, that would help.
I said that word. I don't even know if that's the right word, but it sounds smart.
Quantifying?
I don't know.
Confine.
I couldn't use it again if I tried. So this is from The Life of Pi, and I see a lot of orange, right?
It's a very warm palette, yeah.
It's a very warm palette. What do you mean by a warm palette?
Well, I mean, okay, look at so this is supposed to be like water, right?
Right.
Reflecting the sky.
Reflecting.
So you would expect it to be blue. Like
okay.
that, because that's sky's blue. Everyone knows this since you're a baby. But when you look at the palette, it's like a green. It's like a muted green, and that's because it's a warm hue. But surrounded by orange and red, it's gonna look bluer.
So what would happen if I had just gone ahead and painted it blue?
It wouldn't look right. It wouldn't have the filter. It wouldn't, I guess, harmonize with the rest of the warm palette. Like if you had yellow clouds on a bright blue, constant, almost purplish blue, it would be too much.
Okay, so let me ask this. Okay, there's an overall color over this, right?
Well, yeah.
What is it?
Filter.
It's a yellow filter. So would you say which color is that yellow filter? Is it let's say, is it that yellow? The other yellow over there?
It's probably whatever the clouds are, most likely.
What this right here?
Yes, because that's where it seems strongest. like where everything seems to.
So that would be
come
about this
together.
color here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably.
so it's the mid color. So it's almost like it leads into that color and it comes out
exactly.
the other side because there seems to be kind of a lighter over here, and then when we get into the darker tones,
Mhm.
so it's almost like they picked one
in between to harmonize. Yeah.
Okay,
I guess that makes sense. See, I didn't think about that, but
I don't know.
I'm not that smart.
But it's not something I've spent so much time learning anatomy, learning how to do what's that phrase? Oh, shape language that I haven't paid much attention to color. I haven't had time to pay much attention to color.
see, a lot of people just like not you, for example, because I mean, obviously
Sure.
your style's
Yeah,
stronger.
me too, but go ahead. Go ahead. You're
You
just
don't
saying it
need
because
to
we live together.
prioritize color, but people who render, like the first time they start rendering is when they realize like they've been holding themselves back. I think a lot more people need to just like go and color it. Even if you're not done with the sketch, color over the sketch. Don't do line art, just color it. It is the weirdest thing. It's like contouring. If you've ever put on makeup, you'll
You're
know what to
scaring me.
do.
You're scaring me.
You just, as long as you know the planes of something, you can render it. That's just how I've done it. I don't know if that's entirely true. I'm not a professional. I wish. I act like one.
I'm not a professional, but I pretend to be one on TV.
It works. That's what Dr. Phil does.
Wow, wow. Shots fired. But it's true.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just true.
Yeah, very true. So anyway, so this is enough Life of Pi. I haven't watched Life of Pi, so I have no idea what.
I noticed the boat looks like
emotion this thing.
a pill. That's all from a distance.
Well, he ends up on the boat with a tiger, or whatever, and they're trying to survive.
Yeah, that sounds. I mean, I think Granny put it on once.
Really?
Years ago, and I fell asleep. So I don't remember.
Guys, if you see me adjusted, things have been like behind the scenes. I had a show this morning. I'm trying to adjust camera angles and all that stuff so you can see. So just we're professional here. Yeah.
We pretend to be.
Anyway, but this next one, I do know that one too. But this is
What is this?
This is The Ring.
Oh, yeah, the green. That makes sense.
Right.
They love green.
And it's a very mossy feeling to it,
Mhm.
right? It's very like it's earthy,
It's moist.
but yet it feels, I don't know, dirty.
Yeah, no, you can say that.
Okay, but I mean, I would say that's brown, but it's kind of a
Oh,
darker.
it's a dark green. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of this looks like it's a different value of green.
It's a different value of green.
Some have more blue
So
than
this
others.
is how we have the monochromatic. Well, yeah, I mean,
Monochromatic, yeah.
yeah, monochromatic to an extent. I guess you would say that there's some blue in it
There is
that breaks
variation.
up that monochromatic. But okay, so the moss and everything that's on top of the house. What happened? Did somebody just mow the lawn and just
Why
throw
is there moss on the top?
It's like, what's the deal here? But okay, so everything's green, right? So let's say it's about this mid color.
Probably.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's about this color here. One of these two colors, right? All right. So here's the deal. You know that they say that there's a percentage. If you use complementary colors, you use 80, 20 of 80% of one color, 20% of another color. If you use triary, which is 3 different colors, you use 10% of one color, 40% of another color, and 60% of one. One's more dominant here, right? And I think we can see this here because the brown of the cabin is pretty much like a dominant, is the majority of this picture, right?
Is it?
Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. It's hard to tell if it's entirely
Well, I think
brown.
I would say that the color for the brown here is probably
It's definitely brown, but it looks browner because of the green surrounding it.
right. But I'm just thinking of the percentage of the uses
Yeah.
in that.
Oh yeah, it's a majority. I'm just agreeing with you to get this over with.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh okay. Well, no, don't agree with me. Argue with me. Damn, I don't freaking know. Look, the freaking thing is.
No, you're right.
Right.
You're right.
Okay, so that's mostly so you would say that's what, about 60%, right?
I guess when you start bringing numbers into something, I'm just gonna.
Oh my gosh, don't glaze over on me. Stick with me. Look, okay, so you got the 30% that's regular, the green, the moss, and everything. Almost like that's why they put that green moss in there, right?
Yeah.
To add to that coloring, right? Okay. So we agree there. Anything else to add?
I like green.
You like green?
Pretty
How about
color.
that?
Yeah.
Why is this creepy?
Is it? I was never really that scared of the ring.
Of the ring?
No. I could take her.
You think you could take her, huh?
I just elevate the TV a little. Just let her fall.
Hey, look, you know what I never noticed was look at the movies underneath here.
What are they? Can you tell?
There's Casablanca. Amistad's over here. It's like American Beauty. Looks like he's got a double box set of American Beauty. I don't know what the deal was with that. These look like VHS. Look, it's The Craft.
Oh, yeah.
It's
These
like,
were
wow. So do you think they made that when they made that decision? Do you think they made the decision on what kind of movies to put down there?
definitely they had to.
Okay, so the guy here, like in the ring, he's like a freaking cinephobe, right? Or
Cinephile.
Cinephile, whatever. He's scared of movies.
I would
That's
be
what that
after
means.
this.
He is now.
You
Well, he's
could be
dead
with
now,
us.
right? Oh, spoiler.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You've never seen The Ring.
There's like a movie. There's a movie that somebody was telling me that I think it was Chad. He was telling me there was a movie of the Ring Girl versus the Grudge Girl.
Oh.
Oh my! I got to find this, and I wonder what the color palette would be. So, but okay, but the color on the screen, like it's obviously it's the static, right? Of static. It's the static color. It's the static of the TV's color, right? And she's fitting into that and everything coming out of the TV.
Green is just kind of a grimy color, isn't it?
This is right, but you have a brighter green.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get into like that midsummer picture that I put on there that we're probably not even going to go over tonight because it's clickbait. It's a different color green. It's a brighter green, right? So what's the difference between those greens? Is it the green that makes it grimy, or is it the
value?
The value.
Probably the value. And also I'd say like a mint green, that's closer to blue, and blue is generally seen as kind of a cleaner color. If it's closer to yellow, yellow is gross. Like that, I feel like that's universally the gross color. Besides bright yellow, grimy yellow. You think of like teeth. You think of those little rings you get on the bathtub. It's a nasty color.
Mold. That's the inspiration I have. So, what was your inspiration for this piece? Mold in my bathtub. It's like I think you need to clean your bathtub. Oh, speaking of which, your inspiration. Enough, it's inspiration.
More green.
More green. Of course, this is the ring, right? Let's. The ring is very green.
Oh, it is very green. It's reminds me of.
Let's see what gets you. Okay, you look at this picture. Okay, this is a white girl. All right, this is a white girl.
No,
she got blonde hair. Like she's just white as white, green eyes, blonde hair.
Woman I've
just
ever
like
seen.
She is the epitome of white. She's white. Now,
screen picker.
But she's not, right?
No, she's not. Not in this.
Not this picture. What color is she? She's green.
She's green.
She's green. She's the color of money. And
yeah, pretty much. It's like she's popped right off the dollar bill, dude.
And see, that's the thing, right? So, but you say, but how, I can tell that she's blonde, but not because they're using. But we're not using yellow. We're not using yellow.
That's true.
There it says Matrix is green too.
Like, okay, that's what I was gonna say. The Saw movies, if you've ever seen them, are like this deep, like yellowish, greenish. It's just gross looking. Every single movie has that filter over it, and it's probably one of the most iconic parts of it. I would recognize that color just by itself and be like, Saw reference.
There's a way about it that makes it kind of grounded, right? And like Jared said, the Matrix is green. It is so freaking green.
It's probably because
what you think about is the black trench coats and the sunglasses and stuff, right? But guess what? That's green too. It's all green.
You know what?
Except for the woman in red.
Oh, of course. I see. I'm betting the Matrix. The color that comes to mind when you think Matrix are like black and green, and that's the color of like, what is it, coating?
Yeah.
That's why. I'm
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Anyway.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, but also the color of mold.
Of course.
Art Victim says yellow oak. Oh, look, ochre is grimy. Though I would say buttercup or sun yellow is fresh if it's clean. Yeah, they're going psychology. That's why, like, The Walking Dead is so desaturated. Oh yeah,
Oh,
this
it
is
is.
true. You never really watched The Walking Dead,
I
have
watched
you?
the first season. It didn't. I'm not a zombie.
I mean,
person.
well, I mean, you're looking at this decay
Mhm.
and you
Yeah,
know
no,
the
of course.
pale and stuff. So, but now I
If you've
feel
ever seen a
depressed.
vampire movie, it's also very
But-
desaturated.
And this color palette has made me depressed, which is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you depressed and grimy and icky and nasty. Please let. Okay, now we're going to go to red. This has that. I have no idea what is this. This looks like Silence of the Lambs. It is Silence of the Lambs. Look at me. What?
I've never seen it, but
Thank
good
you.
job.
Silence of you. Yes, you've never seen Silence of the Lambs. I'm sorry, but you know it, right?
Well, of course I know it.
What? That one scene, right?
Yeah, that one scene. Everyone knows that.
What's that
scene.
one scene?
I'm not reciting
do
the
it.
scene.
Do it.
It's with
Do it.
it's with the whole-
It's the whole. He puts the lotion on his
Yes,
skin.
that.
Else it gets the hose. Yeah. So Ted Levine. That's the guy's name. Nobody seems to.
I've never.
And
seen
he's
it.
not just the guy from Monk.
I don't know what that is. How old do I look to you?
Arvind says, "Yeah, I had to stop watching Walking Dead because the palette made me feel so down till after." It's crazy how color is such a psychological
It
mind fuck,
really is.
and it's like you've
It's a
got to
tough
hand.
one.
And I think that's what What's sad about it is, yeah, you got the stupid Oscar awards and the Golden Globes and stuff like that. And let's face it, everybody turns that shit off until the end when they decide to award who's best actor, best actress, best director,
No one
best
cares.
picture. And that's the fucking problem.
Maybe you go
Is
for
the
comedian.
issue that comes in where we have so much that goes just trying to when you're trying on this thing right here with the green screen and everything else like that, it ain't perfect. But trying to get the lighting here has made me really appreciate these people on sets.
That has to be difficult.
Oh my gosh, how do you
Is there
get
an
that
award
right?
for best coloring?
Yes, there's
There
awards
is?
for that kind of stuff. Best
No
production
one
design,
appreciates them.
best there's
sad.
cinematography, things like that. And it's like there's so much that goes into it. And guess what? If you're going to do your own comic or whatever the case is, guess what you got to be? You got to be all that stuff. And it's nuts. You can do black and white, but it might sell, it might not. If you're in Japan, it does.
Yeah, because manga.
But
Manga's
okay,
better.
okay, but let's take this for an example. You've never seen this movie.
No.
Unfortunately, you know that it has something to do. What is
With
the
lambs.
Yes, it has something to do
Quiet
with
lambs.
It has something to do with lambs.
Suspiciously silent lambs.
You know how right you are. What does this mood give you here?
Well, okay. It's very aggressive, but clearly her face, her expression, it's not anger.
Okay,
Maybe it's
now I'm putting my head over her face. The colors down there. What emotions are you getting? Oh my gosh! Now I gotta wipe my screen off.
like she got dirty little hands.
Yes,
Dirty
dirty
boy.
fat hands. Go ahead, fancy hands.
Well, they're very they're very. What is the word I'm looking for?
Monotone.
Well, yeah, they're very
Not monochromatic.
no monotone.
Monotone.
Yeah.
Like just
Look, the only
this-
color that's not muted is red.
the thing about it is this is 70s color to me. Like if you see the 70s movies and stuff like that, that's what this reminds me of.
Just the one color.
Just the
sticking
one
out.
color red, just the entire
Just
time.
one red.
But you see, you still got your little grimy green in there somewhere because we can't just have a horror movie without having that in there
For
now.
some reason, green's the scary color. It is.
But red's usually, obviously there you have your psychology. You got your red is passion, it's fire,
It's
it's
anger.
flame. It can be.
Piss.
Isn't it funny
That's what I
that
think.
red is probably what the hardest color to use, from what I understand.
Oh, it is for me too.
I think that's a common thing.
Rarely use it.
Because you can. What's crazy about colors is that using one color can make another color pop,
Exactly.
or it can bury it. So you got to be really careful with how you use colors, which is what drives you fucking nuts. And that's the thing about it, right?
Right.
Okay.
Red is so deep, and there's so much like the value of red as it is so dark, and no matter what value you're using, red as a color to me is just always one of the darkest, maybe next to blue. It's so hard to use.
And I kind of wonder if our impressions of these colors are because of life experiences and what we've seen, or are these colors just ingrained in our nature that's what we have?
We got caveman brains
Yeah, you could call it that.
that tell us red angry. Red angry
Red,
color.
angry
We're
color.
bulls.
It's like, okay, they say mathematics is a universal language. They say music is a universal language. Is color a universal
I
language?
think so.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah. Well, what about?
I've never showed you that. There's Close Encounters of the Third
Synopsis.
Kind. Might as well skip to the most movie and you can see the end of it. I'm sure that's probably going to bring some controversy.
Better.
Oh, look! Really? I thought we had different colors on this thing. So this is from Arrival. This is another Jodie Foster movie. Is this Arrival? I think this is Arrival. Yes. What?
Well, look at you. Who's the cinephile now?
Yeah, cinephobe. Nowadays, but this is from Arrival. No, this is not Jodie Foster. This is somebody else. Contact is what I was thinking of. Anyway,
Kind
point
of the
being,
same.
it's got something to do with aliens, but it's got that same gray. It's gray, right?
It's
No,
grayish green.
it's grayish green.
It's green again.
All right,
Now here's one.
Here
with
we
a lot
go.
of color.
all right. What is this from? Is this Parasite? What is this?
Oh, it is.
It's
What do you know?
Parasite. Look at that.
Yeah, the colors on here feel very traditional.
Mike says Amy Adams. Yeah, I never saw it. It's just probably because I didn't like the green coloring. You'll be surprised how often I'll make a movie choice based on the coloring.
Yeah, okay. Color has a huge impression on you.
It does. Maybe that's why I hate using it. This is very colorful, right?
Mm.
But they only use 10 colors? Surely it's not. So, yeah, exactly. And so Mike said he never saw it either. It looked dull. Probably because of the colors look dull.
Boring, too. Makes you think of old movies, and old movies are boring. Isn't that right, Dad? Those old black and white films, they suck, don't they? All of them.
No. Have you ever watched Casablanca?
No, and I never want to. Because it's old and gray.
You're uncultured swine. Anyway,
I did that to piss him off.
I'm okay. I promise you I'm okay.
Parasite was another very green movie, wasn't it? Because even here, with all these colors, look what has the most color. Look how many. Look how which one is the most of there is. I can't speak English. It's mostly green. It's mostly green. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, the idea behind Parasite was to have a contrast between the poor and the rich, right? Which
Green
was
is the color of
dealing with
green.
South Korea. We're going to use the color of green.
But also, when you think of Parasite, I generally think of green for some reason.
I feel like it's obviously okay. This is the main guy. This is the guy who was going to.
Is it or is it this? Was it the son that was the main character?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
I mean, really, the whole
It has
family,
been
but the son was the
forever
main
since I watched
character. He takes up
the rich folk
for
like
to
a
train,
tutor, right?
like a tutor for language, right?
Yes,
I think it was.
so.
I don't even think he was, but I kind of wonder. We have in the foreground, we have the dark colors, right? But the light colors are in the background.
Yeah, and they come from
It's
straight
almost
lines.
like no matter where you go, you're just cast. This character is casted in this dark mist because that's the depression of his life. Look,
Aw.
he's even next to something that is colorful. Look how colorful that is.
Yeah,
But
he's still.
but
in the
almost,
dark.
it's almost like
He's
all
in
the
green.
darkness is in his.
Yeah, exactly.
All the
He's a
darkness is
silhouette
in
here.
right. Well, all the darkness is in his vicinity, right?
Mhm.
Because even when you move out of that, right here, you get a little bit of the color of what this is. Right here, y'all couldn't tell you what this. If you cut this in half right here,
Mhm.
this looks depressing.
Mhm.
This looks like, oh, you want to go towards the light like a fucking moth in a flame, right? But this is just this depressing. But yet, it's almost like when we get out of his aura, when we get out of his situation, we're moving into now where there's color and brightness and everything. But that's okay because something's going to happen. That light's going to go out because he's a depressing individual. It's going to be colorless.
Destroying this character.
Well, I'm not destroying him, but that's what the character was.
No,
It was a
that's
depressing
how it was,
situation
yeah.
for him, right? And that's what this color is
We're
kind
totally
of reflecting.
roasting. That's what the cinema.
I think
that's
what
what
gets me is the
film did.
complicatedness of the buildings and stuff here and the wires.
That's it's really good set design. Everything's.
I think that was just on the street.
Well, they had to set it up.
Oh, this guy. All right. So here's what's interesting. You have these warm colors behind him, but he's kind of in a cold state here, right? Is this still a warm green? You know what this is from?
No,
This is Joker.
is it?
Yes.
I guess that makes sense.
Yes, I understand why you want to forget.
Don't say that. What if someone liked it?
There are people
If there was one person in this universe.
that
Yeah, no, green definitely makes sense for Joker, and there is a lot of it. There's cool greens. It shades into blue.
Oh
Even.
shit.
But it's against the background of like a very colorful scene here,
Mhm.
right?
He is very monotone.
I mean, I guess
Monochromatic.
what we take from that is when we have a character that's just right. The background, I think of Zom 100, and in the anime, it's the zombie apocalypse, but you're not dealing with blood and green and stuff like that. It's just bright colors and everything else like that. Because his depiction of a zombie apocalypse was, I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
Oh, it's
It's all over.
It's freedom.
Society has pretty much fallen. I can now do what I need to do. So,
Yeah, that's a great example.
right, yeah, and so it's about your depiction of it. Yeah, he's smiling, but let's face it, he looks like an uncle. Let's face it,
He really does.
he's not happy.
No.
He's mad, like crazy mad. Now I love this.
Where's this from?
Okay, for just a second, take a look at this image.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think directed this movie?
I don't know.
You don't think you could see who directed that?
I'm not really great with directions.
Okay, because he's not associated with this. However, this is why I think it's sad for him, because he does actually have a good color palette. People need to go back and look at some of the stuff that he's done, because he's not all just dark and creepy.
Who is this?
This is Tim Burton.
Really? What is this?
This is Big Fish.
Oh.
Have you seen Big Fish?
Years ago. I don't remember it.
Big Fish is probably one of his best movies, and it didn't have his
No, it wasn't that
signature
God, what is it
element
called?
and stuff. That's why I kind of feel like Tim Burton's depressed, that he's kind of stuck, and that's what he sees.
Dark, whimsical.
Right. But this is a very pastel thing. Okay, so let's set this up here. Ewan McGregor has just stumbled upon the town of, I can't remember, it was Heaven. This is where you see a young Miley Cyrus. Like
Hannah Montana.
way before Hannah Montana. Way before. She's a little
she
girl.
must have been really young.
Later on he comes back and it's Helena Bonham Carter. We know that's not going to be the case anymore. But let's say, right? All right. Steve Buscemi's in this. And Ewan McGregor, that's who's in the car. I can't remember the name of the city, of the town. But it's kind of like a fantasy town. It's in the middle of the woods. He just kind of walks through the woods and they're in this town.
Okay.
Right? And it's let's see. Art Bentham says, I feel like I want to send you a world premiere of my work in progress. It's on like totally opposite spectrum than all of this. Ever hear of an art named Spooky Girl Art?
Spooky girl art.
No.
No.
Is that an Instagram handle? Check it out.
Probably.
But I think this is a very warm place. It is basically heaven on earth, right? It's depiction of small town USA or whatever the case is, and considering Tim Burton's point of view on people, it's not surprising.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
But I think what's interesting is that you have this reddish car that's in the middle of the asphalt, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the asphalt itself is not black. That's what we would think of. It's a purple, right?
Yeah.
So it stands out that it draws our eyes to this. While
no, I was gonna point out like all that surrounds him, and including the asphalt, including the car, it's like pink, it's purple, the green. It's like directing our eyes. Look how it kind of like it frames the surroundings. It really makes the purple pop. You got the trees and the grass.
It actually does. It moves you in and then out, right?
Exactly.
Like kind of like a like
an
V
arrow?
shape.
Like a
yeah. See, I'm not a huge fan of his because of what he's gotten into, but there are sometimes that this shines through that there is certain things there that I wish he wouldn't have gotten pigeonholed. Huh?
I think actually mentioning this, I don't remember Big Fish. I haven't seen it in a long time. But my favorite Tim Burton movie is probably Edward Scissorhands, and I think that's mostly because of all the color he was allowed to
Absolutely,
use.
yeah, because that juxtaposition.
Yeah, exactly. The contrast is what made my eyes draw to it. Otherwise, it's just boring and dull, and there's not a lot going on.
Speaking of boring and dull, I don't know what this is. True Grit. Look at that.
Hey.
What?
Have you seen this?
But I know well, it's Rooster Cogburn, and it was a remake of an old John Wayne movie. That's why I know it.
What is it, John?
You don't know what John Wayne, the Duke. Howdy, Piggle. Okay, no, I can't do it. You never heard? It's like your grandmother's favorite.
I'm very cultured.
Like your
in a lot of
grandmother's favorite
things.
actor. Like she even has a mug with his face on it.
Really?
She's got a mug with his mug on it.
Wait. My grandmother. Is this her like celebrity crush or something?
Was at one point in time.
I didn't know that. Now
Are-
I know both of my grandmother's celebrity crushes, and that's uncomfortable.
Who was the
Oh God, Granny has a fat crush on Jason Momoa, and she talks about it every time she comes over. I don't know why. I don't know
How
why.
basic.
I know. I don't know why. Every time she talks about it, it's like, oh, isn't he just a dreamboat? And I'm like, we have very different tastes, Granny. I don't think you should be discussing this with me.
Our victim talking about spooky girl art. Yeah, she's all over the net. She's my inspiration for my color piece at the moment. Awesome. Yeah, and the red is pointing toward the center of the composition.
Ooh,
Yeah, absolutely.
I like this
Yeah.
one a lot. I should rewatch that.
Absolutely. I love Big Fish.
You know what this palette down here reminds me of? This is the process of burning toast.
Yeah, right.
That's the first thing that came to mind.
You know what? Actually, right? But what's interesting is I think, okay, from not seeing this movie, I don't really know Rooster Cogburn that much, the character. But he was several movies, including a movie called Rooster Cogburn. I think was True Grit was the first, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, point being.
I've heard any of this. I feel like I'm being gaslit right now.
What does that even mean?
I don't know that there's a guy named Rooster out there.
It's not even,
Character
no, this
or
is
not?
Jeff Bridges playing Rooster Cogburn. In the old, can you tell this is a Western?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
By just a brown, right?
Oh, of course.
It's like for some reason Western was in the desert. I don't understand that.
They love
But
browns.
okay.
They love
It
yellows.
wasn't sunny California until I don't know the 1950s. It was just brown out there.
Very
Welcome to
So
San
much wood
Francisco.
and dirt.
Tumbleweeds and all the other.
Cowboy
shit
hats.
running around,
Everything's brown.
Everything's just brown.
That's why another reason I hate
It's
Western.
now it's brown for a whole different reason. It has nothing to do with dirt. Anyway, no, let me rephrase that. From what I hear that they're like on the fecal matter on the floor. On the ground.
Oh!
Let me phrase
I
that.
was like, 'cause
Yeah, that's what I.
I
Yeah,
don't know you to do this.
I
but
really need to make sure that I say the
Specify.
things right.
It's very easy to be misunderstood these
Yeah,
days.
let's move on. I feel like this was the Wes Anderson. I think this is the Royal Tenenbaums.
What is this?
The Royal Tenenbaums. Yeah.
I have not seen.
Okay,
any
this
of
is a Wes
these.
Anderson movie. I don't know how well you like Wes Anderson.
I recognize his color.
He's a very mute film director, right? It's very monotone, and their emotions are very flatlined in a way. Royal Tenenbaum is not anything different, honestly. The only thing that I can think of that you might have watched that was a Wes Anderson film is perhaps
I'm already telling you, I have not, sir.
the Fox movie.
The Fantastic
Mr. Fox.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, but you know what
I
I'm
haven't
talking
seen
about.
it. Yeah, I do, because
Yeah.
I'm an animation nerd.
Yeah, and that's
That's
Our
all
Island of
people-
Dogs.
Oh, I haven't seen that
I
one.
haven't seen it either.
No, but I know what you're talking about now.
But I want to get to a better. Okay, here we're seeing. What is this? Brothers. Prisoners. Don't know it.
Don't know it either.
Cinematography, production designer. Oh, we should really totally. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Okay, this I think is Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak. Once again, we have the green. Oh, obviously, I don't know why I said colors. I should have just said color.
Color.
Color
No,
everywhere.
There
Colors.
is a red.
There is a red.
There is a red and there's a mauve.
Why is that red there?
I guess to make him stand up, make it stand up.
Absolutely.
Probably.
So let's not give it all to Guillermo del Toro. The colorist here was Chris Wallace. And the cinematography, Dan
could they throw
Lofson,
these
production
credits
design.
in here?
Huh?
It's good
It
that
is.
they-
It is. It's very, very
You don't
nice.
see a lot of people do that. They always just credit the director, like
Right.
we have been doing.
So
for the
this
past
is
30 seconds.
so it's Guillermo del Toro, but you have the green, but it's kind of peppered in brown in there just to kind of give you old.
This guy's got a bathroom, I'm assuming.
Yes.
It's a weird looking bathroom. I haven't seen Crimson Peak. I think Tom Hiddleston's in it, and I'm scared of him.
Why? Because of Loki?
Yeah, probably. That's the only role I ever want to see him in.
As Loki?
Yes,
Yes, totally different role.
it is. I don't want to see.
It's a very okay. Here's the thing about Crimson Peak, and I feel about Guillermo del Toro about the same way I feel about Tim Burton. Honestly,
Like he's being held back,
Mm,
or he's holding himself back.
no, Tim Burton, I feel like is pigeonholed into a style.
Probably.
Guillermo del Toro confuses the hell out of me.
He's up and down.
Well, here's the thing: the movies that I enjoy by Guillermo del Toro are his more muted movies.
Was Pan's Labyrinth
Yes,
muted?
yes.
I guess it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's, but like when you get into stuff, he did Pacific Rim.
Hmm.
He did Hellboy.
So,
Hellboy.
I keep forgetting.
He did Hellboy, and I like the first Hellboy. He did Hellboy 2. I like Hellboy 2 to an extent, but the visuals were over the top. I didn't particularly care for all the creatures that were in Hellboy 2.
He loves his monster designs.
He does, and sometimes they just don't hit for me. They really don't. Sometimes they do. It's really up and down. But one thing, he does have a sense of atmosphere
Oh, for sure.
when he's doing this stuff.
I mean, even that Pinocchio, I think that we were not fans of. I think had a great atmosphere. I wasn't crazy about the writing though. It looked nice most of the time.
But Mike says, I was 1 year behind the guy who wrote Prisoners in high school. I met him a few times in school. A brilliant illustrator in school. Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
I don't know the movie, though. I'm not familiar with it. Tim Burton is pigeonholed into making remakes now. Or sequels. Oh, my gosh, we didn't need another
Why
Beetlejuice.
another Beetlejuice? Why?
Or
What was
Wednesday.
the need? Or Wednesday.
Yeah, he's not near about doing as imaginative
He's
stuff
kinda
as he
in
used
it
to.
for the money. It makes me sad. Someone who's deemed as like a great artist
Yeah.
doing it for cash.
Okay, so here we have Us.
Oh, Us. See, that was a pretty beautiful film. I like the marketing for it a lot, the posters, and the costume design was pretty good too. I think it's iconic, but I wouldn't say that I liked it. Am I allowed to say?
No, I didn't like
A
it.
lot of people.
Like I said, Jordan Peele's next movie is going to be called Plot Holes. That way,
A lot of people freaking adore Jordan Peele, and I like him for his concepts. Like if he's coming up with these ideas, he's a genius. He just needs to learn when to, like, what to do beyond the cool concept or the synopsis. Like they always get me at the first half, and then it just tumbles.
falls apart
It
because you don't follow through.
I don't know. That's
So,
what it is.
the cinematography here is Mike Giolakis. Production design by Ruth De Jong. Set decoration Florencia Martin. Costume design Kim Barrett. And colorist Michael Hatzer and Chris
So
Jensen.
many names.
Yes,
To go
and
with
I
just
think
one
now
film.
think about this. Now let's take the director says, "Hey, I want a feeling here that's dark
It's definitely
and sad, or whatever the case is." Okay, so now the cinematographer has to find the right place to set up the camera, what's going to be the right shot, the right composition. Production design's got to make sure that whatever's in the background and everything else. But guess what? The colorist decides the colors, and these guys have to figure out around that, right? They got to figure out the right type of lighting. They got to figure out the right type of filters. They got to do all this stuff, right? And at the end of the day, this has actually a pretty decent amount of colors in it. I will hand it to them that there's green here, but there's a warm life to it, which I think highlights that it's a dismal part in her life at this point in time, because I think her parents were fighting or something like that.
This was at the what,
This is at the
carnival?
beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is at the
Right
beginning.
before she goes into the
Right.
little funhouse thing.
Right. So, but you still have that warmness that kind of hints at her curiosity,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
There's more blue in it, but there are hints like from the lighting.
She's in the blue. The curiosity is kind of like a light bulb going off,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You'd like a moth drawn to a flame.
Right. This is Sandra
By the way,
Bullock.
my sweater started
Gravity?
unraveling
Yeah,
the second
Gravity.
we started streaming, so I've just been playing with the string. It's the luck I have.
This is, you know what the thing about space movies and desert movies tend to have I mean, that there's such a muted tone because I think that it's always this idea of loneliness and isolation.
Oh my god, wait, you just made me realize something. I think I get this from you. I don't like westerns and I don't like a lot of space movies. And I'm starting to realize maybe it's because they're all so muted.
They're claustrophobic.
Yeah, like I don't like alien movies either. And a lot of them are very muted. They're very claustrophobic.
Well, because they're going to use cold colors, right?
Well, yeah.
They're going to use cold
It's space.
colors because it's space.
It's the most vast, empty, lonely.
Do you know what the tagline for Alien was when it came out?
What was it?
In space?
Oh, no one can hear you scream.
No one can hear you
See,
scream.
I didn't even know that was a tagline.
You didn't know it was Alien?
Ascended
Yeah,
alien.
it's absolutely.
And I'll never watch it because it's an alien.
But
movie.
but even that tagline says that's just that cold and isolation that's there,
Yeah,
right?
it's scary.
It is. It's very scary, and I think
And so is
not
Western.
having those colors, it makes you depressed. And that's the thing about going into a movie like that is, and it's the same reason I didn't watch Arrival, is because I don't really want to go into a movie and spend an hour. And these movies usually last 2.5 hours.
I'm not feeling desolate.
Yeah, I don't want to spend 2 hours in that atmosphere and that feeling, right? Even with a horror movie, that you'll have isolated colors sometimes, but then there's a bright passion red or that deep green or whatever the case is.
It's a stronger feeling.
Right, absolutely. Which I think is funny that we've actually experienced more of the haunted genre on these colors than we have in anything else. It's almost like horror lends itself to an array of emotions that colors can convey.
Yeah, that's the way of putting it. A lot of people want to connect horror to just being like black and red.
Yes.
But I think there's so many things you could do.
The Fifth Element had a lot of colors, absolutely, because it transcends just being a space movie.
See, I forget it's a space movie. That's how
Exactly.
And so is like Guardians.
But I'm going
Guardians
to
of
tell
the
you
Galaxy.
why, and I think the thing about the Fifth Element, and Danny DeVito made me realize this.
Danny DeVito.
Well, Danny
Lorax?
DeVito recently talked about how he would revise his role as the Penguin
Oh.
if Tim Burton was directing it, because they had a lot of fun. And he said one word that I did not think about, but I think actually applies to the Fifth Element as well, not just because of the one scene. Operatic.
Operatic.
It's over the top, boisterous. Like when you're thinking of opera.
Oh, it's definitely unrealistic.
Yeah, right. It's over, but it's unrealistic in the sense of production design, colors, and maybe
It's
even
fun.
acting.
It's fun.
But in its emotion and its convenience of life, it's almost like it transcends. This is why I like Nicolas Cage. No, I said this to somebody
They
else.
call it
looking at me like I was
overacting. We
fucking
call
nuts.
it operatic.
Well, yeah, 'cause there you go. He's not overacting. He's operatic. But when he acts in a movie, he acts to proportion of what that movie is. And in that sense, that's why you have home dude Abed
Oh, what is his name?
Danny Pudi
Danny Pudi. Yes.
on Community, when they're like, don't try to figure out if Nicolas Cage is a good actor or a bad actor, and he goes nuts,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Because he gears it to what he's
there's
picking a role,
levels.
right? And I think that's what I like about it. It's like the Fifth Element. It was operatic.
Mhm.
It was a
It was
space.
over the top.
It was a space odyssey. It was a space opera, and it leaned into that. It was just that over the topness. And Star Wars does the same thing. I mean, come on.
I haven't seen it.
No, you say Star Wars.
I have not. I've seen.
I've taken you to see the movies.
I don't remember. The only thing I remember about that was the milk, the blue milk, and I just noped out. I knew from that point on that was the last Star Wars movie I was ever.
God, it had to be the blue
first
milk
and the
from
last.
Star Wars. People are freaking out on that shit.
I couldn't do it.
Here, let me the
Alright.
coffee. Okay,
First time I'm not
So-
doing it myself.
but see, you know what this movie was about, though?
Space.
I think she gets lost in space or something. It has George Clooney. I'm not a Sandra Bullock fan. Obviously,
I haven't seen a Sandra Bullock.
see
movie.
here what you take in from this. That I don't hate everything, but when I do like something, it's worth it. That's what you have to take
That's
into
what
it.
you tell yourself.
That's what I tell myself, and it works for me. But in all seriousness, but I think she gets lost in space or whatever, so that just kind of lends itself to the isolation of the coldness that's there, and I'm already impressed with this. Let's move on. Okay, this is an interesting. I've never seen the Dallas Buyers Club. This had to do. He has HIV/AIDS. This is Matthew McConaughey. Believe it or not, you have no idea who that is.
It's a person. I've heard the name.
Oh my gosh!
I don't think I've seen a movie of his.
Even know you anymore.
Well, I'm so sorry. I haven't dedicated my
Mike
life to
says,
learning every celebrity.
Mike said, "I would prefer to watch depressing movies at home, so I don't have to drive afterwards."
That's true.
This is-
Yeah, why would you go to a movie theater, the most joyous place on earth, popcorn candy, just to watch something that's gonna make you depressed?
depressed.
What's the point?
Well, what's interesting about this is, okay, so here's this guy. What he's doing is he's trying to get HIV medication and AIDS from Mexico because it's not warranted by the FDA. It's based on a true story. All right. And he's I think he's smuggling it across the border. If I'm not mistaken, I've never seen it.
Mm.
Not because I haven't wanted to. It just never came to time to do it. But what's interesting is I think what's interesting is in this color palette, you have that green that's related to horror.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's just the world around him. It's horrible. But yet, he's so optimistic and so passionate about what he's doing. He's in red.
Yeah. That's like the only place the red could be coming from is him.
Right. Absolutely. And this is directed by Jean-Marc Vallée. Cinematography by Vis Belanger. Production design, John. That is not
Yves.
piano. That's piano.
Yves.
Huh?
Yves.
Yves Belanger?
Bellinger?
Belanger?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know how to pronounce Yves because I had a character name.
Costume design by Kurt and Bart. Okay. And colorist Mark Bocroft.
Kurt and Bart who? That could be anybody.
No. But you know what? Take into consideration some of these folks and to help you along that way. Mike says, this stream has been great. You have helped me with getting the pencils done with the second page of my comic book. That's good because I'm surprised. At least you're not falling asleep. So you would go and watch us outside of your home, we're hoping, instead of being depressed on the way home. That's Tom Cruise. We'll move on. Okay, I think this is Sleepy Hollow. I don't know.
I don't know either. It looks gothic.
I was right. It is Sleepy Hollow. It's
Tim
gothic.
Burton,
And so this is Tim Burton. And this is your typical Tim Burton creep
yeah,
fest,
this is
right?
what people think.
But what's interesting about this is what it draws your eye right straight to the pumpkin head, right?
There's a pumpkin. Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Once you notice.
Why? Why would you set this creepy tone and bring attention to the pumpkin head?
Well, it's the only thing with color here, clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But why? Why did he make that the color?
Is it important?
It's Sleepy Hollow.
And pumpkins are hollow.
Okay.
I figured
No,
it out.
because he created Nightmare Before Christmas. No, not really.
He's a narcissist.
That's not it. That's not it at all. No, it's Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow is about the Headless Horseman.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and the Headless Horseman, what does he have to replace his head?
Oh, was a pumpkin?
It was a pumpkin. Oh my
I'm learning things.
God.
Look, I'm
Totally.
sorry you're old.
Irving Washington wrote
You're probably
Sleepy
around
Hollow
when that story
about
was birthed.
Ichabod Crane, who was this goofy teacher that went to Sleepy Hollow. He wasn't well liked. He was made fun of, although one of the women liked him. One night he was riding home. Wait, don't fall asleep.
I'm listening.
This is fucking Sleepy Hollow. He's haunted by the Headless Horseman. And it says that was it. That basically it came after his head and he disappeared after that. Mike says, I don't see how I can fall asleep watching you folks. Too entertaining with information that is useful to me. Oh, and Mike says, congratulations on both of you with their covers are coming out. Actually, Magi's Grace is actually a book I did.
Those
Yeah, I did a new cover for it. But it is. I did do the interiors for that.
Oh.
And no, we appreciate it. To move forward, we're trying to not be regulated so that we can bring you quality entertainment and quality things. We're more concerned with trying to.
You don't have to try not to be regulated.
Right, exactly. So we're more, but as much as we deeply appreciate the support, your support of watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, telling others about us, your friends and everything else like that to check us out, that is more valuable to us than being monetized by YouTube right now. And that's exactly what we want to do. Is because we want to. That was the whole point of the ICN network, or Independent Comic Network, is to showcase quality artists, quality writing, quality work, and to help others produce the same thing. So now that I've gotten off my soapbox, but yeah, the pumpkin is about
Horseman with no head.
Headless horseman.
That one.
I don't want to show. Okay, I'd rather show
I think
you.
Monster High made a reference.
I'd rather show you I wouldn't want to show you this movie.
Why?
Because it's not really the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It is Tim Burton's Legend of Sleepy Hollow, much like he did with Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
But I would want to show you the Disney version, the Disney animated short
I didn't know
of the Adventures of Ichabod Crane, or the Headless Horseman, or something like that. Or the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the Adventures of Ichabod Crane. Whatever the case is, because that pretty much sums it up more so than
I'd rather watch a cartoon anyways.
Irving Washington's story. So basically this is overcoming here, but we have the pumpkin head in the middle because we're trying to keep that idea moving.
It's interesting framing.
Yeah, absolutely. Cinematography by Emmanuel Lubezki, production design Rick Hendricks, costume design Colleen Atwood, and color timer Jen Passion. You got your phone?
No, unfortunately.
What is a color
What is
timer?
a color timer?
Let's find out.
Do they decide when the color shows up? Are they in charge of that? I didn't know that was an option.
Okay.
We're Googling stuff.
What is color timer? Color timing is an analog laboratory process for manipulating color and photochemical film workflows. This process changes the amounts of red, green, and blue light used to create a film positive or print from a film negative.
I learned something new today.
Okay.
That's a thing.
I thought it was just somebody's like, okay, add this color now. Yeah, it's like they're just out there composing colors with crowns.
Like they're wizards.
They've got like the 64. They've got the 64 box of crowns, and they're like, all right, it is time for blue. It's time for red. You know, that kind of thing, right?
Why do I come on here?
This is from Fury.
Furry.
Fury. We're moving on. All right.
I killed it.
The Virgin Suicides. Oh my gosh. All right. So the Virgin Suicides was with Kristen Dunst. You know who that is?
MJ, right?
Yeah. God.
Unfortunately, that's what I know her for. Yes.
Yes. The
I don't
worst
think I know her from anything
fucking
else.
girlfriend in cinema history.
They just
Mary
didn't do
Jane.
it right. They didn't.
They
do it
didn't.
right. No,
No.
not at all. Unfortunately, no offense to Kristen Dunst. That's not.
No, that
her
wasn't
fault.
her. That was Sam Raimi's fault. Okay, but so the Virgin Suicides, basically, there were some boys in the neighborhood. There was a house full of girls, and like they were always closed in. They were always, whatever the case is. And basically, the boys snuck into the house, and they were meeting with the girls. And eventually, something happened, and the girls killed themselves because they were so deprived or something. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. It was a very muted movie, but these colors at this point in time were kind of something that were consistently used, and you'll see that as the time goes by. And
what year was this?
Oh shit!
Was it the 2000s?
This came out. I'm going to say this came out in '99. Yeah,
Ooh,
99.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they definitely loved using these colors in particular. You see it all over.
But this was by Sofia Coppola, who is Francis Ford Coppola's daughter. You have no idea who that is.
I don't know what a Coppola is.
Coppola. Okay, I'll tell you exactly what a Coppola is. His real name is Nicholas Coppola. Nicolas Cage. His real name is Nicholas Coppola. His uncle is Francis Ford Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola is a director who directed The Godfather. You've heard of The Godfather,
I've heard of it.
Okay. And that Dracula. I don't know if you've seen that Dracula with Keanu Reeves and Gary Oldman. Like I crossed oceans of time and
No.
to find. Okay, well, maybe one day I'll show it to you.
God, Keanu Reeves and Gary Oldman. I'm surprised I haven't seen it.
Gary Oldman played Dracula.
Did he really?
Yeah.
God, he can
Winona
do
Ryder.
He can do anything. I swear to God.
That's how Winona Ryder sits there and talks about how she's married to Keanu Reeves. Because Francis Ford Coppola, like, okay, I don't know how familiar you are with the story of Dracula. Dracula, you had Jonathan Harker. He goes out. I know he has a fiance, Nina. Nina looks like Dracula's old fiance from when he was alive, I guess. And so he's got a fascination with Jonathan Harker's fiance. The book is written in like letters and stuff like that.
Letters?
Yeah.
In a book? Oh, you mean like physical? It's like a no sleep story.
See, what the fuck is wrong with you, Z? I swear. It's like, I don't know why do I do this? I tried to teach you. Mike says, oh, Dracula was great. It aged really well. I have to find it. It is a long movie. Anthony Hopkins is in it. Yeah. Anyway. Dracula 3000 is a disaster piece. I mean, a masterpiece. He says masterpiece. Disaster.
Are you disagreeing?
No. Was it Dracula 3000 or am I thinking of Dracula 2000? Because there was one like with Dracula. Oh my gosh, you never watched Hackers?
No, was that the one with Angelina Jolie?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen.
Okay, it was her ex-husband, and some people, some people. I can't remember who else. They filmed it in New Orleans.
Oh, did...
Yeah, because like there was a chick that was like, okay, there was a lady.
You're getting so.
I said I'm canceled tonight, buddy. I'm going to get canceled for stuff I do say. I'm going to get canceled for stuff I don't mean. Like San Francisco. No, but like Johnny Lee Miller, he was in Hackers. But they were filming down there, and the woman that was in it at the time, Jennifer Esposito, she was kind of a big thing, right? So the guy I worked with, him and his brother went down there to try to get a glimpse of Jennifer Esposito, right? Because I mean, you're only 45 minutes, an hour away to New Orleans from here, and so he goes down there, and his brother's not even freaking interested in seeing Jennifer. Oh, there's Jennifer Esposito. Oh my gosh, it's the guy from Hackers. It's the guy from Hackers, which I don't blame him. Okay, look, see this right here. Now Chad is giving. He's giving me two reasons why I will never watch Dracula 3000. One is Coolio. The other is Coolio was in it with Casper Van Diem, which is why I won't watch Sleepy Hollow, because Casper Van Diem was in that too. To me, Casper Van Diem is the epitome of just bad acting. I can't show you what he's been in. He was in like the Sharktopus, not Sharknado. It was like he's not even good enough to be in the bad Sharknado movie.
I think I've seen
the Sharktopus. Where like he owned the boat, he was kind of a drunk.
Definitely seen
like he looks like a Chad that aged.
I think I have seen that.
Okay,
for some reason.
That's Casper Van Diem.
I for some reason have seen that film.
Yeah, Starship Troopers. I was not a fan of Starship Troopers at all, but I will say this much: as far as Starship Troopers is concerned, that's the one with the big bugs. Has Neil Patrick Harris in it. I tell you what.
I don't know this one.
Why I don't think that I like Starship Troopers, and I'll have to give it another try. I will do that. Is because I didn't get it at the time. In its way, it's kind of like a satire of patriotism. Over patriotism. It's got Neil Patrick Harris, who you know is Barney, but at the time everybody knew, hey, it's Doogie Howser. Casper Van Diem, Denise Richards, you don't know her, Jake Busey. Have you seen The Frighteners? Have I shown you The Frighteners yet?
No.
With Michael J. Fox?
God, that sounds. I think he wanted to show it to me.
Okay, we're gonna find that.
I might have even watched a documentary on that without having seen it because it's
got Chi McBride, Pushing Daisies.
Oh, okay.
The guy that was using the pie maker.
Yeah,
right.
Ned the Pie Maker.
That was another one. Yes, that's what he was from. Chad's got it. Sharktopus versus Wall Wolf. See, he's not even good enough to be in a Sharknado. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about Casper Van Diem? Anyway, we're not talking about colors anymore.
Oh, we're not.
No. All right, so we have Harry Potter. I don't like the color scheme on this one. I really don't. This is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is when it started to get dark. It was directed by Alfonso Cuarón. The only thing I could say about this movie is I don't mind the darkness of it, but I feel like it could have been. It has shades of what it could have been had Terry Gilliam directed the Harry Potter series. That's all I'm going to say. I wish that would have happened, but he probably would have ran out of money and completely bankrupt the whole franchise. Anyway, cinematography was by Michael Cera. Stuart Craig did the production design, set decoration Stephanie McMillan, costume design Janie Timon, and colorist Peter Doyle, Peter Hunt, Mel Kanglion, and Patrick C. Miller.
Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Which one was that? Was that the third film?
That was the third one with the
Okay.
werewolf.
That's about the time I stopped watching Harry Potter.
It's because it got dark.
Yeah, I could only get through the first two.
I'm not wild about the way Christopher Columbus did the first two. They're very
I'm
childish.
sorry, Christopher Columbus,
Chris Columbus, yeah.
the guy who discovered America.
No, the guy who wrote Gremlins.
Oh yeah.
So,
Sorry, he just shares the name with one of the most famous people of all time.
yeah, well,
So,
I mean,
that's unfortunate for
Columbus, Chris, whatever.
Chris is very basic. It's a very basic name. I think every white guy in my vicinity is.
I did not. Okay, The Aviator, which is another Martin Scorsese film that is actually good. It's every once in a while, usually if Martin Scorsese puts Leonardo DiCaprio in it, it's pretty decent, except for Shutter Island. Oh my gosh, Chad. What the? He is also in the well-known movie Avengers Grimm. I know this movie. I've seen it. Oh, golly. We watched that with Meredith. Oh, damn. That brings back memories. You remember that, Nita?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Dude. Basically, Avengers Grimm was like all the Grimm fairy tales, but they made an Avengers type team.
Is that a spoof?
No, that's just a bad B movie.
I think I've seen that before.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Was it one of those purposely bad movies? Was it a shark?
I don't know if it was necessarily purposely bad. I think they did what they did, but no, it wasn't like Sharknado in that sense. It was just what it was.
Mm.
But yes.
It's free on YouTube. That's all I know.
I bet it is. They probably need to pay people to watch that. So I think this is interesting. The Aviator, which takes place, it was an asylum film. Yeah. Which asylum is pretty known for bad movies. So I kind of like the muted colors here. This, this is about not Hugh Hefner. Oh golly, the Spruce Goose. What is the name of this guy? Oh man. Anyway, so this was a guy. He was kind of an eccentric character, and he was like peeing in jars, like held himself up.
It's a little bit
Howard Hughes.
Eccentric, I would say.
Huh? Well, yeah, he was Howard Hughes. He was an eccentric billionaire, blah, blah, blah. He tried to make a Howard Hughes. Yes, thank you, Mike.
Could have been sooner.
Oh, and Chad decides to kind of give us a little bit more on the Avengers. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Rapunzel, fight Rumpelstiltskin. And I think Casper Van Diem is Rumpelstiltskin, isn't he? This is even worse. Mike said, I never saw that, but the premise could have been silly and fun if done well. Yeah. And Mike told it, Howard Hughes. Absolutely. Howard Hughes. It was like, it was a wooden plane. He was trying to make a wooden plane, or whatever the case is. He was an eccentric millionaire at the time. I'll tell you what, Kate Blanchett is in this, and she does an impression of Katharine Hepburn, who she's playing. She nails this role. You know who Kate Blanchett is?
Well, of course I know who
Okay,
Kate Blanchett
yeah.
is.
She just nails that. I think that's when I realized that Kate Blanchett could act. But I like the cinematography. It's got this. It has a very. I think he's trying to convey the dreaminess and the optimism that Howard Hughes had, but yet lived in this almost like, I think you could see Walt Disney in this type of thing, because Walt Disney had this optimistic viewpoint that blinded him. Optimistic in the sense of this sugar-coated idea of how American ideals and how life should be. and it was just dreamlike, and it was a world that he never himself lived in, except that's why he built Walt Disney World.
Mm.
And I think this kind of hits on that, on what that would, this kind of ideals. We have this, but the pastel, instead of a bright, hopeful, it's obviously a very pastel that gives an idea of it's hopeful, but it's not going to pay off.
Looks like it's drying up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So sad.
Yeah, because but what's interesting, it goes from brown to green. He's kind of like in the center. He's kind of the shift, right?
Yeah.
Like you have the brown on the trees, and it shifts over to the green.
Impressive composition.
It actually is. And of course, cinematography was Robert Richardson. Production design by Dante Ferrati. Set decorator Francisca Lo Schiavo. I'm butchering these names, folks. I'm telling you. Costume design Sandy Powell. Colorist Stephen Nakamura. Okay. Birdman or the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. This is the guy who's in the middle of a play. He's okay. So this is Michael Keaton, and he was known for a character that was a vigilante that was based on a flying animal. Michael Keaton embodied this role as if he actually lived as an actor who had once played a vigilante based on a flying creature. I know. I don't.
Such a weird concept. I mean,
brilliant. Just brilliant. No, it's actually a really good movie. But it's the thing about this movie, which is really cool, is it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's filmed like one scene. Everything, it doesn't cut. It's not edited.
No cuts?
Yeah.
Like one take all the way through?
I don't know. It's like one take. They didn't just do one take, but the movie is, if like it says, it follows a person in a scene into the next scene, and so on.
That's gotta feel very intimate.
It's very consistent.
Mm.
It is very consistent with how it is, and he's kind of descending into this madness because he's trying to come out with this play, and I think that's what we see here is that red passion that he has, but that dark dinginess that's in there. That's not like there's just this little ray of hope that he'll be known for something other than playing Birdman, Batman. Anyway, so of course we do
two flying characters in superhero movies when you really think about it.
So, but he
it's not going to beat that anytime soon.
Was it? But it was a good movie. It was a really good movie. And it really was his comeback, honestly, because after this movie, this is when you started seeing him a little bit more and stuff. But Beetlejuice. Why?
Oh, phew! You only said it twice.
That's what they're calling it. Beetlejuice. That means, you know what that means.
There's going to be a third.
There's going to be a third. They're going to do it.
Why do you need
I guarantee you, there's probably. I would not be surprised if there is a mid-credit scene.
I'm betting that they're only making the second one to get to the third one, so they could call it Beetlejuice.
And it's basically him taking over the world.
Okay.
It's apocalypse. Mike said they sewed the scenes together with computer editing to give the appearance of one take. Yep.
Interesting. I've never seen.
And Hitchcock did an almost one take movie. Yes, Rope. Brilliant. No, it really is. Okay, Rope. Basically, it was these guys had murdered somebody, right?
Hate when that happens.
And their teacher was coming over for the dinner. So they hid the body in a trunk in the middle of the living room.
Okay.
It's Jimmy Stewart. You don't know who that is. Just these are words that I'm going to put into you that later on you're going to go, hey, yeah. See, look, I knew that one, Mike. The Hitchcock movie was called Rope, based on a true story. Somewhat, it was a play. But yeah, he did you would see like a scene. There was really a cool scene where Jimmy Stewart's talking to one of his students, and the guy they used rope to kill the guy, strangle him.
Oh. Cool.
You didn't see the murder.
I don't know why I said cool.
You just see, you don't see the murder. But there's a scene where, you ever see the kitchen doors that you flap through?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a scene where Jimmy Stewart's talking to one of the students. The other student's in there with the rope. And as the door goes open and closed, you see him open the drawer, comes in, goes back. You see him take the rope like this. And Jimmy Stewart it's between Jimmy Stewart and the other guy. And you see him drop the rope into the drawer. And so you're basically seeing these scenes cut between the door. But it will be something like a stack of plates that were sitting right there, and it will zoom to the stack of plates, and the stack of plates would pick up and move because somebody's moving the plates, and it was a very
Interesting.
yeah.
I like seeing people push the limitations of what is typically done in film.
Well, with Hitchcock, and we'll have to look at some of the stuff that Hitchcock did because he did have some graphic design sense.
Okay.
So if you look at some of his storyboardings that he did, they have a very big graphic novel sense to them, which is cool. I think this is Goodfellas or Casino. Casino. Okay. I don't know this one too very much, but obviously this is a gangster movie. But it takes place in Las Vegas, which at this point in time I think was I don't know if this is I don't know if this is what's his name, Bugs. Oh man, I can't remember. Bugs Malone. I can't remember. One of the guys who set up one of the gangsters who set up. No, because this had to be later. I think this is in the 70s versus that. Anyway, blah blah blah. So basically, I think what's interesting is when you see these guys, they have their burning red with passion because that's whatever passion they're doing.
He's got green. There's a lot of green. Green on his suit. Green behind the chandelier, the lighting behind him.
So why do you think that is? What? Okay,
Probably something to do with money. I'm guessing.
That's
I mean,
a good point.
judging by the
It's Las Vegas.
yeah.
The lights, money. Yeah.
The only thing that's not green or yellowish orange is him. Like there's brown,
Right.
but that's just due to the shadows. He's pink.
Mike said Casino was not for me. I can be generous to put it that way.
Oh my god! Wait.
I was a Goodfellas.
Hmm.
Some people would like to say this is kind of a sequel to Goodfellas. It's not. But if you want a sequel to Goodfellas, My Blue Heaven. But which is true. But so it's a gangster movie. It's got Robert De Niro. It's got Joe Pesci in it, who was also in Goodfellas. You haven't watched Goodfellas yet? What the flying hell? I thought we haven't showed her Goodfellas yet?
No.
I've seen it
what is
on
Oh my gosh.
posters in people's rooms.
Oh my gosh.
No idea.
I do like Goodfellas.
Sounds
It's
like
one of my
something to
favorite
do
movies.
tomorrow.
But
I'm betting whatever this is, it definitely has to do with money.
oh, absolutely.
That gold shade, the green, like that's it.
That's exactly it. It's basically them running casinos.
Mm.
And I think Joe Pesci is kind of a guy that comes out. So yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see that. Yes. My Blue Heaven with Rick Moranis and Steve Martin, which was written by the wife of the person who penned the book for Wise Guy, which was, I think was penned, or he did the screenplay. But she heard the story about the main guy from Goodfellas. Basically, at the end of Goodfellas, what happens to him is kind of touched on. Goodfellas is a drama.
Mm.
My Blue Heaven is a comedy about a
Could've got that
mob
from
boss
Rick
who's in
Moranis.
witness protection,
Okay.
or mafia guy who's in witness protection. And Mike says, "All my memories you are tapping into tonight." Yeah, I flipped that. I learned that a long time ago. What is interesting about My Blue Heaven is you had Rick Moranis and Steve Martin. Steve Martin was actually going to play Rick Moranis' part, and they were going to get Arnold Schwarzenegger to play Steve Martin's part. Go figure. I can't figure that one out. Save my life.
What a switch up.
I'm lucky I still have memories since I turned 49 a couple of weeks ago. Hey, look, you're not too far ahead of me. And I don't have many memories left as it is. So
Dementia.
this doesn't even tell us what it is. View post.
Oh, it doesn't say anything.
No.
Oh, there we go.
In the Heart of the Sea, directed by Ron Howard. Is that Chris Hemsworth? I don't know.
Maybe. It might be.
It's very yellow.
Oh, it is, yeah. But it's green. It's like lime. Crazy.
I think this might be the same thing.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
pirate
See, this
movie?
makes me seasick, just like those colors were. So, I don't think so. I'm not positive. I can't be sure exactly what this was about.
Pirates.
In the Heart of the
Probably.
Sea, I wish it was about pirates. Then I'd
Was.
watch it. Shut up. I know what you're going to say.
He loves Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
He's a big fan.
That's what you think, huh? Have you ever even seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Not a single one. No.
Wow. Okay, so here's another Wes Anderson. It's very pink. But I wonder if we're just supposed to pay attention to the guy in blue. I guarantee you, I've never seen the Grand Budapest Hotel. But I guarantee you that chances was, or was this about the movie or was this about the story that Moby Dick was inspired by? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
So much peach.
It's peach, huh?
Yeah.
You say that was peach? I was going to say that was pink.
It is pink. It's. I guess when I make that connection, it's peach. I guess peach would be more orange for most people.
Is that the guy from
What, Hereditary? Who is this?
I don't know who that is.
He's got eyebrows.
He does.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people I know.
She has eyebrows too, but not as much.
Not the eyebrows that he has. No.
Okay.
I recognize the eyebrows.
But I guarantee you that he's probably the
main character,
the protagonist in this, right? Because
he stands out.
He stands out. But they're kind of this is Claire Danes, I think she's I think I know who she is. I can't remember the name of her right now. Maybe not. No, I'm thinking of another movie. Never mind. I have no idea.
I'm noticing that
it's another movie.
A lot of the films we looked at that weren't monochrome are using, when they do use more colors, there's always most of a cooler or warm and then a splash of whatever is on the opposite side of the spectrum. Like here, it's all pink, it's all red, and then a splash of turquoise.
So basically, it's Mike says, I guarantee you that the framing in the Grand Budapest Hotel is centered often. Huh. Well, that makes sense. But that's Wes Anderson, because that's kind of how he does things. It's always kind of front and center. I think it's kind of stale in my opinion. But the colorist here is Jill Bogdanowicz. Costume design. I'm just going to color. Let's do one more, and then I think we're going to call it a night. Name. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, another one.
Okay, there's a little fire. That's it.
All right, I don't know what this is from. The Queen's Gambit. Okay, I haven't seen this. This is a TV show, but it's a very interesting. I'm gonna say this takes place during the 70s, 60s,
Probably,
60s. I'm thinking 60s. Maybe late 50s. Maybe
everything it would be monochrome if it wasn't for that splash of mint in the very, very far background.
The fact that you call it a splash of mint is amazing.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm trying to sound all fancy.
And somebody said the colorist is their nephew. Oh wow, cool.
What a brag.
Colorist Stephen Bogner. Well, I think he did a fantastic job. If I just look at some of these,
they really like that.
Look at that.
Yeah, they seem to keep a consistent color palette.
This is a series. This is about.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've seen it before on Netflix.
This is obviously a passionate scene, right?
Yeah, probably.
Whatever's happening here.
Doesn't look, empty or angry or anything.
No. But it's almost like, okay, this is kind of a depressing world at first. And then we start seeing the splash of pink. I'm curious in watching this thing. So who knows? Maybe check out the series. But
I've got a lot to watch after this because I only knew maybe 3 things that we looked at.
Mike says all these muted colors are like post-apocalyptic. But I've seen post-apocalyptic movies with a lot more colors.
It's all about juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition. You like that word.
I love that word.
You do.
It's one of my favorites.
With that. All right. So, of course, we didn't get to any of these movies that sit up here. The color palette and up here.
We should have looked at Midsommar. Midsommar has some great palettes, especially for a horror film that's so vibrant.
Well, you know what the good thing about this kind of stuff is? We can only slightly touch on some of this, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll have to do another color one eventually. So, but Jaden, tell them where to find you and what work you got coming out and everything.
Let me think about it. Okay, you can find me on Facebook under Jaden Lanning. I've got some stuff in the works with Ego Raven, Daphne Lage. I've done some stuff for Snowpaw with Rob Moltari. I can never say his last name the first try. That's pretty much it. I'm on Facebook. Where are you, Dad? Besides in front of me.
As always, you can check me out at landingart.com. That's LANNING art.com. Got the coming Mage's Magi's Grace coming out again.
My struggle
on Kickstarter.
Is spreading.
Yeah. Coming out again, which I did do a new cover for it, plus the interiors, and I'm starting to work on the second one. that's, I think, going to drop sometimes next week. So keep an eye out. You can get notified right now over on Kickstarter. Also, we've started up Sketchy Saturday again at 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturdays. And then next week, we'll probably go through some compositions. Take a look at different types of compositions and see what we can do.
Not my strongest suit.
But also keep an eye out. I have another book coming out from Hazard Productions this year, and Dr. Flaw Comics. I'm working on something I'm finishing up soon.
So much more than me. I'm actually avoiding work right now being here.
Right now, right. And then some other things coming in the works, plus some bullshit coming up.
More
random rambling bullshit. So check that out. Art Victim says, I'm going to stick with Cyberpunk Edge Runner's high neon city vibe. LOL. High contrast and coloring. I do like that. It's kind of reminds me, it's like Blade Runner. Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, right. So until next week.
I'm going to go throw away this sweater.
Let's do that. Until next week. Stay tuned for all your Indie Comics Network needs. Right here on IndieComicsNetwork.com. Got plenty of shows coming up. In the morning is Sunday Funnies with Randy Zimmerman. Monday, of course, starts off again with the vlogs. Check it out. And until next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Can I say? Oh, there it is.
You have been watching Art Style Kamikaze. If you've experienced headaches, bleeding, or a pleasurable euphoria, please consult a physician. Unless you like that kind of thing.